Good, you made it. Yeah, you. The one they whispered about. The one they tried to hex, curse, sabotage, bury, cancel, isolate, mentally break. And somehow you're still sitting here breathing like it's just another day. Let's talk about that. Because right now, they're shaking. You defeated a whole gang of witches like a one-man army, and you still don't even realize what you did. You know what's funny? They didn't come at you like villains in a movie. No pointy hats, no broomsticks, no neon sign that said, "Witch here." They came as friends who low-key hated you, family who didn't clap when you won, supporters who only support you as long as you stay below them, spiritual people who used God, energy, vibes, whatever word they liked, as a weapon, not a path. Little comments, little digs, little jokes that cut a little too deep. You weren't paranoid, you were surrounded. Let's call it what it is. Witchcraft isn't just candles and weird symbols. It's manipulation. It's control. It's people trying to bend your reality so you think less of yourself, so you don't move, so you don't grow, so you stay small, because your growth threatens their illusion of power. And you were the perfect target at first. You had a heart. You had empathy. You wanted peace. You wanted everyone to be okay. That's the funny thing about people like you. You show up with open hands, and they see open targets. Let me ask you something. How many times did you feel crazy for noticing the shift? You felt it when they stopped inviting you but kept posting. Your name came up in rooms you weren't in. People you never hurt suddenly went cold. Your success made the room go quiet instead of loud. You felt that pressure in your chest, that anxiety, that confusion like, did I do something wrong? Did I change? Am I the problem? That was the spell. Confusion is a spell. Self-doubt is a spell. The constant guilt they fed you, that was a spell. And every time you apologized for existing, you were bowing to their altar. But something snapped, didn't it? Not in one big dramatic movie moment. It was slow. A build-up. One fake smile too many. One betrayal too deep. One "I'm fine" too heavy. Then one day you just went, "Nah, I'm done." That was the moment the war shifted, because you didn't just move on. You broke formation. You stopped dancing to their little manipulation choreography. And that is when they realized, you're not a victim, you're a problem. You want to know why they're shaking right now? Because they threw everything at you that should have destroyed you. The character assassination, the lies, the gaslighting, the guilt trips, the smear campaigns in private group chats, the subtle spiritual attacks, praying against you, not for you, sending envy with a smile, and somehow, you're still rising, you're still evolving, you're still getting ideas, you're still getting opportunities that weren't even supposed to be yours. You were supposed to crumble, you were supposed to disappear, you were supposed to be sitting somewhere crying, feeling unworthy, stalking their page, wondering why you're not enough. Instead, you leveled up. Let's talk about that one-man army thing for a second. Because people hear that and think, you mean I fought everyone and won? No, it's deeper. Being a one-man army means you learned how to sit alone without losing your mind. You had conversations with yourself that were uglier than any argument. You started healing trauma instead of just reacting from it. You confronted your own toxic patterns instead of blaming everything on them. You went to war with your overthinking, your need for approval, your people-pleasing, your fear of abandonment, your addiction to fixing broken people, your obsession with being liked. You didn't just fight them, you fought you. And that is why they lost. See, a gang of witches is strong when you are weak inside. When you're insecure, their words control you. When you're desperate for love, their attention controls you. When you're scared to be alone, their presence controls you. They work like this. I don't need to chain your body. I just need to chain your mind. So they teach you to second-guess every decision, make you feel guilty for having boundaries, mock your dreams so you don't chase them, overreact when you pull away so you come running back. And then you did the impossible. You stopped caring about being liked more than being free. You started saying, "No, I'm not comfortable with that. No, I don't have to explain myself. No, I'm not lowering my standards. No, I'm not ignoring how you made me feel." Witches hate boundaries. Manipulators hate when their favorite puppet has scissors. Let's be honest, walking away looked weak to them. They laughed. They said, "Oh, they're acting brand new now." They told people they changed, they're fake, they think they're better than everyone. Of course they said that. You stopped being their doormat. Suddenly you're arrogant. What they didn't realize was this. You weren't walking away in defeat. You were walking away in armor. There's power in silence. There's power in leaving group chats quietly. There's power in not clapping back, not posting subliminals, not arguing your innocence to people committed to misunderstanding you. You know how scary you are when you master silence. You know how dangerous you become when you stop trying to prove anything and just let your life speak. That's one-man army energy. No backup, no crowd. Just you, your mind, your spirit, your mission. Let us go deeper. Think about all the times you almost went back. You almost texted. You almost apologized for having boundaries. You almost downplayed your win to make them comfortable. You almost pretended you didn't see what you saw. That internal tug of war, that's spiritual warfare. Part of you knew, if I go back, I'll be safe, but I'll be dead inside. So you stayed away, even when it hurt. You stayed solid, even when you were lonely. You chose peace over familiarity. Do you understand how strong that makes you? Most people go back to their chains because the silence is too loud. But you sat with it. You sat with the emptiness. You sat with the confusion. You sat with the anger. And somewhere in the middle of all that sitting alone, your mind started to clear. You began to see the patterns. Wait, every time something good happens to me, that person distances themselves. Every time I set a boundary, that person plays the victim. Every time I show vulnerability, they use it later in an argument. Every time I talk about my dreams, they throw in a little negativity disguised as realism. Suddenly what felt like love looked a lot like control. You went from, "Why don't they love me?" to, "Why was I calling that love?" That's when the spell cracked. And once a spell cracks, it can't hold you the same way. You started doing scary things, blocking numbers without writing essays, muting people you secretly envied so you could heal instead of hate, saying no without a paragraph, leaving messages on read when they tried to bait you back into chaos. You started protecting your energy like your life depended on it, because it does, and they felt it. Suddenly they're confused. Why are they so distant? Why aren't they reacting? Why aren't they trying to fix things this time? Because you finally realized you're not a therapist. You're not a rehab center. You're not an emotional punching bag. You're not a charity case for broken people who refuse to change. You are the storm they pretended you weren't. Here's the truth they will never admit out loud. They didn't just want you small, they wanted you dependent. They wanted you to come to them for validation, run to them for advice, need them emotionally, financially, spiritually. Look up to them like they were your savior. And then you started standing up on your own feet. You got stronger. You learned things. You made progress. You grew a spine, then a voice, then a standard. They got scared because suddenly you weren't asking, what do you think of me? You were asking, what do I think of myself? That's witchcraft's worst enemy, self-awareness. You didn't defeat a gang of witches by throwing spells back. You didn't need to light 300 candles, chant in 7 languages, or send hate. Your power wasn't in revenge. You beat them by doing the one thing they never expected. You healed. You forgave, not to let them back in, but so they couldn't live rent-free in your head. You did your shadow work. You faced your childhood wounds. You started noticing what triggers you and why. You turned your pain into data. You turned your tears into strategy. You turned your loneliness into self-discovery. And when you heal, the old hooks don't hook the same. They try the same tricks. Guilt, shame, silent treatment, jealousy games, third-party drama. And for the first time in your life, you feel nothing. No pull, no panic, no rush to fix it. Just clarity. That's why they're shaking, because the version of you they knew is gone. The version that over-explained, over-gave, overstayed, over-listened, over-loved people who under-respected you. You killed that version, slowly, painfully, intentionally, and in its place, you built someone terrifying, someone who can sit alone, someone who can lose people and not lose themselves. Someone who can walk away from the table when respect is no longer being served. Someone who chooses sanity over drama every single time. You know how hard it is to control someone like that. Exactly. Let's talk about power for a second. Real power is not loudness, flexing, revenge posts, subliminal quotes aimed at them. Real power is when you're so aligned, so anchored, so connected to who you are, that they lose access to your emotions. When they can't trigger you like before. When they can't predict your reactions. When they can't hook you into arguing. They start spiraling. If I can't control you, I have to destroy how people see you. So they start telling stories. They start painting you as the villain. They twist your silence into arrogance, your boundaries into selfishness, your growth into, they changed up. Let them talk. You didn't come here to win the public opinion poll. You came here to win your life back. Look at you. You're still worried you're too much or too cold now. You're not. You're just not allowing spiritual, emotional, or mental abuse to wear glitter anymore. You don't fall for, I was just joking. You're too sensitive. Why are you bringing up old stuff? You're crazy. That never happened. We're family. You're supposed to forgive. You remember what was said. You remember how it made you feel. You remember how they moved when you were at your lowest. Your memory is your shield now, not your burden. You're not bitter. You're aware. Understand this, you walking away wasn't just for you. You broke a pattern your bloodline couldn't. Who said, it stops with me. No more staying in toxic situations because that's just how it is. No more tolerating disrespect because that's just family. No more shrinking your dreams because we don't do that where I'm from. You broke generational witchcraft. The curses of low self-worth. The curses of settling. The curses of silence. You might not have a trophy for it. No applause. No parade. But somewhere down the line, a kid with your eyes, or your name, or your DNA is gonna grow up in a reality you bled for. That's one-man army work. You think it was just heartbreak, just a falling out, just some messy drama. No. You survived psychological warfare. You survived spiritual warfare. You survived emotional warfare. And now, the battlefield is quiet. You don't have to keep fighting them. They already lost when you stopped playing. Now the war shifts inward again. But this time, you're equipped. Now the mission is, build the life they said you'd never have. Become the version of you they tried to suffocate. Turn your solitude into power, not punishment. Invest your energy into people, projects, and places that actually pour back. They thought isolating you would kill you. They didn't realize isolation was your training ground. So here you are. You, the one they ganged up on. You, the one they tried to spiritually sabotage. You, the one they thought would fold when they all pulled back at the same time. Instead, you became something they never planned for. Self-sustaining. You learned to motivate yourself. You learned to pick yourself up. You learned to become your own backup, your own hype, your own safety net. You went from, nobody's there for me, to, I'm there for me, and that's enough to rebuild. A gang of witches can't beat that, because they can't take what you no longer outsource. You don't outsource your worth. You don't outsource your peace. You don't outsource your purpose. That's why they're shaking. You know what scared them the most? Not your success, not your glow-up, not your new life. What scared them the most was that you saw them clearly and chose yourself anyway. You saw the manipulation. You saw the envy. You saw the fake love. You saw the little rituals of control in every guilt trip, every joke, every side-eye. And you didn't beg. You didn't crumble. You didn't chase. You walked with your back straight, your heart cracked, but your soul awake. They're not just scared of what you've done. They're terrified of what you're about to do now that you finally understand who the hell you are. Because once you actually see yourself clearly, everything shifts, and that's the part that has their hands shaking and their voice cracking when your name comes up. You're not wandering around begging the world to tell you who you are anymore. You already know. You're the person who walked through emotional landmines, spiritual crossfire, mental breakdowns, fake love, real hate, silent attacks, loud disrespect. And instead of turning into a monster like them, you hardened up just enough to protect yourself and stayed human enough to still care. That balance right there is rare. There are people who went through half of what you went through and turned cold, turned bitter, turned heartless, turned into the very thing that hurt them. You didn't. You grew fangs, yeah. You grew armor, yeah. You built walls, yes, but you put doors in those walls, not prison bars. The witches wanted you to become like them, because if you turned dark in the same way, they could point and say, see? They're no better than us. You refused that storyline. You chose healing over hatred, boundaries over revenge, self-respect over public approval, and that decision broke their entire little ecosystem of control. They built an identity around being above you. They needed you beneath them to feel tall. They needed your confusion to feel wise. They needed your insecurity to feel powerful. You outgrew the role they wrote for you, character development they never planned for. You went from being the easy target to the one person they cannot predict anymore. And unpredictable people are terrifying to manipulators. They can't bribe you with fake love. They can't scare you with abandonment. They can't silence you with shame. You already lost so much you thought you'd die, and you didn't. What exactly can they threaten you with now? That freedom right there is nuclear, because when you stop being scared of losing them, you start being willing to lose every single thing that isn't aligned with your sanity, your purpose, your peace. You weren't built to be a follower in somebody else's cult of insecurity. You were built to lead yourself. And when a person starts leading themselves, they automatically start leading their life out of places they never belonged in. That's why your phone looks different now. Old names gone, old conversations archived, old patterns broken. That's why your days feel different. Less chaos, less anxiety, less of that sick feeling in your stomach before you open a message. Your nervous system is realizing it doesn't have to live in fight or flight over people who claim to love you. You know what happens when your nervous system finally gets some peace? Your mind unlocks. Ideas start coming back. Dreams you buried start resurfacing. Energy returns. Ambition wakes up. You start remembering things you wanted long before they told you. Be realistic. There were dreams you shrink-wrapped because you didn't want to make them uncomfortable. There were goals you hid because you didn't want to deal with their jealousy. There were talents you downplayed because you didn't want to show off. You weren't humble. You were scared of outgrowing your cage. The gang of witches loved that. They loved the version of you that second-guessed every step, that ran every idea by them, that needed constant reassurance, that kept asking, "Is this okay? Am I doing too much?" That version of you was easy to manage. Take a second and really look at this. You were easier to control when you were lost. The moment you started figuring yourself out, they stopped vibing with you. That's not an accident. That's exposure. They didn't actually love you. They loved the benefit of being needed by you. You stopped needing them. Suddenly there's a problem. You're not colder. You're clearer. You're not heartless. You're selective. You're not arrogant. You're finally walking like someone who survived the worst and still chose to believe there's more to life than pain. There's a version of your life waiting that your old circle never would have allowed you to touch. Not because you weren't capable, because your upgrade would have exposed their refusal to grow. Every time you tried to level up, the sabotage kicked in. You'd say, "I'm gonna change this about my life." And they'd drop some discouragement. You'd say, "I feel like I'm meant for more." And they'd hit you with sarcasm. You'd share a win, and they'd go quiet, or switch the topic, or immediately one-up you. That wasn't random. That was energy witchcraft in real time. They weren't just hating silently. They were casting word spells into your self-esteem. Don't get ahead of yourself. People like us don't do that. You're being dramatic. You're too emotional. You always make everything about you. Every phrase like that was a leash. You snapped every single leash they ever tried to tighten around your throat.